Hi crafters, it's Karen, and I come to you with another completed project. This is a cigar box that I have altered. I believe this is the cigar box that Lydia, I Triple Dog Dare You, had given me, so thank you so much, girlie. It measures 6 by 10.5 this way, and it's about 2 inches deep. So it makes a cute little, trinket box or whatever. I'm going to give you an overview, and then I'll share how I altered it. So let me show you the sides first. I used the Primrose collection. So that's the front of the box. That's the side. This is going to be tricky for me. And there's the back. It's the type of cigar box that doesn't have a hinge, so I had to reinforce it with that lace there. There's the bottom. I papered the bottom and added those little marble type feet that Marcy had given me. There's the other side. Whoops. And this is the front. Really cute. I like the way it turned out. Really quite sweet. The cheesecloth and the piece of frame here, and the bird cage. So the first thing I did was to paint the entire thing with white gesso inside and out, because it still had, those cigar labels, and they're so hard to peel off without totally peeling the chipboard of the box, So I went over it with a couple coats of white gesso, and then I went over it with an ivory color acrylic paint. I don't know the name of the color offhand, but I gave it a couple of coats of that. Then I used my crackle medium, and then I went over the crackle medium with the warm white acrylic paint. If you could see that, see where it crackled really nice, which is why I papered it the way I did. I just tore strips so that you could see some of the crackling. And then for the lid, what I did was I took some white lace that I had. It's like a piece of material, but it's lace. And I cut it to size, and I Mod Podged it on, and it just came out really sweet, because within the lace you can see the crackle effect, like that. And like I said, I had to have the lace overlap down here to reinforce that little, what do you call it, the hinge or whatever of the box. So that's what I did there. So I adhered my lace, but I meant to leave some blank spots so you could see some of the paint shining, peeking through. And then I was going to use one of my Michaels frames, the small square ones with like the 1.5 inch frame in the middle for a photo, but it had cracked, and when I opened it, it cracked like on a diagonal. So I decided to use them as corner pieces here, see? So I laid down a doily from Julie the Paper Bag Lady here, and then I laid down a little bit of this cheesecloth, and then I put this part of the frame here, and then again I used the other half over here on this side, and I did the same thing, layered it with the doily, then with cheesecloth, and then added this part of the frame. And I thought it worked out real well for corners, so that turned out good. And then I just started building my flower cluster in this corner here. This is Wild Orchid Crafts. This is a little crochet flower from Michaels. A lot of these flowers are recollections. This foam pink flower I believe I received from Simply Crafty French. Thank you, Isabel. And this really pretty peach rose bud here that sticks up. I believe I got that from Stephanie. She's Vintage Paper Girl. And I just thought it was really cute. I've been waiting to use it on the right project. I believe this came from Stephanie. And then, excuse me, some of these are I Am Roses, and then Recollections, another foam flower. This here and this here are pieces of lace, the same lace as this, which I found at Joann's. And what I did was I took it, we'll say this is like one piece, and I just folded it and then folded it and glued it together, and then so it makes like a little bud, right? And then I, you know, stuck it in the hole there, and I just dropped a pearl inside, so it looked like a little crochet rosebud. I did the same thing here, really sweet. Then over here, I used my Tim Holtz bird cage, and I painted that with the warm white acrylic paint, and I used my pearls on a roll, and I adhered these halfback pearls here. And then this burlap flower here I created a little while back, and I was going to use something a little more frilly and cute, but I thought it would be nice to add one of the flowers that I had created, and I really like this one. I think it has a sweet shabby feel to it. And then another one of the foam flowers, and then this piece here, this acrylic piece here, I had gotten from Cassie when she had her art fire store. Really sweet, that little bauble. And then over here, this big, huge flower, I believe it's Wild Orchid Crafts, I'm not sure. I also received this in a rack, and it's huge, so it kind of sticks up. So I laid it down, and I took the bird that goes to the bird cage, and you know, the bird sits on a branch, so I just added some glue to the branch and then wrapped it around the back of that flower. If you could, sorry, it's hard to show, see? And I just wrapped it around the back of the flower there so that it would be sitting up as if it got out of its cage. And then I put this little, I had painted the back of that, the bird also, but I put this little piece of lace behind, and then this flower from Michael's, the wedding section, behind it to kind of brace it a little bit more. So I thought the bird looked really sweet sitting there. And then this is a spray from Hobby Lobby. And I had painted the bird with the warm white acrylic paint and then distressed her with Vintage Photo. I thought she came out really sweet. I used my Snow Tex and gesso on everything here, so that's the texture that you see. I added a couple of pearls here and one in there, just for a little color. And this lily and the other lily are ceramic, and they come from the wedding section at Michael's as well. The paper I used is from the Primrose collection. I can't remember if I mentioned that, but the Primrose collection from Michael's. So I had just torn a piece to go over the top of the lace, and then I fussy cut this ruler out, and it goes all the way across. This piece here is from Hobby Lobby with the feather and the little bling, the acrylic piece. I thought it was really sweet. I added a little bit of lace here and kind of rolled it back on the top of this flower so you couldn't see the end of the bud. And I stuck another ceramic lily in there. Here's another acrylic flower that from Cassie's Art Fire store when she had it. And a white crochet flower from Recollections. This spool I painted with the warm white acrylic paint, and then I put the pearls on a roll from Recollections around it. Then I took this string of pearls. I believe these are the ones that Louisa had sent me, and I fed it through the spool, and then I put a little bit of glue, and I pulled it back a little bit so that this acts as a knob for the box. And then I took some of that lace and I kind of just bannered it around just for the front. I thought it looked really sweet. You know, I tried to make it look like this was an old, weathered, well-loved, shabby box. I thought it came out really sweet. And then the bottom, I just papered it with, you know, I used my Mod Podge to adhere it. And those little marble things Marcia had sent me, I used for the bottom, for feet. And for the inside, I didn't do a whole lot to the inside, but it is painted, and I used the crackle paint on the inside as well. So I thought the crackling came out so good that, you know, I just left it alone. And then, like I said, this box didn't have any hinges, so I used that strip of paper from the Primrose collection to kind of reinforce the lid. And also it kept the lid from opening, you know, all the way back. I was going to add, you know, the ribbon from here to hold it, but then I didn't know how to do it without it looking awkward, you know. So, so I did this instead to reinforce that little hinge there. And then inside I painted it, and I added that paper from the Primrose collection, then went all around the edges with gesso and the warm white acrylic paint, just to make it look a little more weathered and shabby. See? I really like the way the crackling came out. Super cute, I thought. I thought it was super cute. And I didn't have a knob. I mean, I have a knob that I could have used, but the knob was heavier, looked heavier than the look of the box. So that's why I used the spool, so that it could be used as the knob for the box. So I think it came out really cute. And I went over all the flowers and the lid of the box with my scintillating silver. And like I said, with the gesso and snow text, I didn't use the glittering snow text. I just used the, you know, the regular snow text. So I think it came out really sweet. And that's my Shabby Chic box. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I'm sure I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.